Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Jordan Lee Tarot. So I have two decks for today. We have the Places and Spaces Oracle deck and the Feminine Wisdom Oracle deck. So I hope you guys are doing well today. I'm going to give these cards a little shuffle, tap into the energy, and see what we have going on today. I do want to say something about the affiliate links for these decks that will be coming in the next few weeks. It is something that you have to set up, and it is a little bit more involved than I originally thought, and it's a whole process. So anyway, I will have links to purchase the decks that I use in the description box, so keep an eye out for that. And I do have a digital PDF store where you can purchase some products there. The thing that I'm probably the most excited about is the chakra workbook. It is huge, and it was adapted from like a workshop that I'd put together about 7-8 years ago, and I added even more depth and guts to it. So it is jam-packed with information and just a great way for you to get the best of about 8 to 9 of the most current resources on the chakras smushed together, as well as like journal prompts at the end to dive deeper into how these energies actually affect your life. So just putting that out there because I was really excited and proud to make it, and maybe it could help you. If not, maybe this reading can help you. All right. So the Places and Spaces Oracle is actually just called the Places Oracle, but I always add the spaces because my brain just can't, I don't know, just can't minimize that. I get too excited. Anyway, on that note, I'm too excited. Take that deep breath in. Tap into spirit. Whoop. What do we need to know for the collective today? What message is so urgent that it needs to come leaping out at us? Ooh. All right. Workplace, hub of productivity, ambition, and collaboration. The only thing my brain goes to, stop, collaborate, and listen. I'm sorry. I'm showing my age. All right, the zoo, wildlife sanctuary, behaviors observed. That's actually a quite ironic card if it's not being used as a zoo. That's what I mean. This deck is so interesting and makes you think in ways that the traditional tarot just doesn't. So there's something here about observing the way you work, or even like observing your patterning around ambition. Okay, wedding, union celebrated. Okay. Growth and cultivation. Sun-kissed vines of the vineyard. So what I'm getting is, again, these cards are rather obscure and they kind of put together an interesting message that there's something here about ambition and collaboration. So the ambition speaks of something that is more individually based. I am really ready to do this. I'm charging forward. And collaboration is, how can I do that in a team setting? So there's something there about, okay, union celebrated. Yes. There's something here about working together as a group to get more done. And just maybe observing behaviors around potentially resistance to work with others. I'm not 100% sure yet, but this is talking about growth and cultivation. So I think this is talking about collaborating with others, and maybe you're observing some resistance around doing so. Maybe you're a lone wolf type and you're a little bit apprehensive to work with other people. So that's kind of where I'm leading off with this. That could be in an actual relationship. That could mean in an actual workplace. That could be in a new living situation. It could just be a community that you are a part of. Not sure. My nose is getting really itchy. I feel like that's a sign. Don't know what about, but if that means something to you, great. If not, my nose was just itchy. Sometimes things are just things, right? All right, what do we need to know here? Let's bring this into a more cohesive thought. That was like 4 cards. Let's try one. My human brain. I can't. Oh, I don't get this card often. Peace, tranquility, acceptance. Belief in fulfillment. So this could talk about cultivating a sense of togetherness. I'm getting, again, togetherness, can apply it how it applies. Togetherness, union celebrated, tranquility and acceptance. Maybe there's something that you need another person's help with. Maybe you are starting to realize that coming into collaboration with others is really necessary for you at this point in your life. That could be for a myriad of reasons. Something that I'm thinking of immediately is like a creative endeavor where you know that you can't go it alone and you're sort of getting stuck along the process. You need other people, other minds, other thinky thoughts to get you through to the next step. So I'm thinking of like writers in a writer's room, and you're getting frustrated because you're stuck on a plot point. Well, another writer's going to throw out three other wonky ideas. One's going to throw out a really weird idea, and someone's going to throw out two great ideas. And you combine everything and you make this amazing plot point that nobody saw coming. Ultimate twist, very M. Night Shyamalan of you. But this belief in fulfillment, I think whatever this is, you're not used to working with others and you're a little freaked out by the prospect of doing so. And I think this is telling you, chill, baby girl. It's all good. I guess she's sniffing her hair. From really far away, it looks like she's smoking a cigarette. I'm like, I don't think that's what that is. Maybe you're like sitting outside, like smoking a blunt, and you're like, actually, that is me. Abundance, state of plenty. All right, so talk to us about this collaboration. Talk to us about this collaboration or this union. Yeah, sisterhood, community, strong connections. Okay, this is really talking about the benefit of joining together with other people at this time. I think that's very, very powerful. And again, I'm feeling like it's going to be the kind of situation where you can be ambitious on your own and you can collaborate with others, and both will be necessary. But also talking about your ambitions being able to go further because you're not the only one participating or contributing to the bigger picture. Very, very beautiful. So something that I personally feel very strongly about is living in communion, but community. That's what I meant to say. Living in community with other people and not always living by yourself if you can help it, because it does help strengthen your ability to adapt, be more flexible, and it just might show you a different way of life because you're not completely in your own head doing your own thing all the time. Again, the same with work. If you're always working solo, how are you going to get those other insights? You start to realize when you collaborate with other people, like there are other ways of being and existing and thinking in the world. I grew up with a very rigid way of thinking about being. You have to work this way, you have to be this way. And that's the way I was raised. And as I got older, I start to see and realize all the different ways people can live in the world. And it's all okay. But it's not what I was raised with. It's not what I'm used to. But that doesn't mean it's wrong. Now, I'm not talking about this like weird hippy dippy commune type style thing. I'm thinking that this is something um, more practical. Maybe this is like getting a roommate and realizing that actually having that companionship sometimes is really, really good for me because I'm a bit of a hermit. So these are the types of things that I'm talking about. Maybe you want to start a business, but you can't do it on your own because it's a big investment for like a brick and mortar. So you do get a partner and you work with other people in collaboration to make this dream a reality. And it pushes you, it challenges you. You can't just do what you want to do. But as a result, maybe the business is that much more successful because something is promoted or done that you would have never thought to do, or something that you're like, no, I don't want to do this. But the other people involved are like, check this out. This is a viable thing we can add to our business. And then you add it and it makes you a ton of money. You're like, oh my gosh. So thinking of this in terms of What can I gain from collaborating with others at this time? Ooh. All right. Love, romance, attraction. Clarify this, Spirit. Is this actually about love? Safety, freedom from hurt. So now I'm kind of getting a different message or a flushed out version of this message that has to do with coming into an actual romantic union and allowing yourself to feel and experience that interdependence, not independence, not codependence, interdependence. That's actually a healthy relationship. You're both going to have bad days. You're both going to help each other. And it's just going to really change the way you view the world and living because you're not doing it alone anymore. Really changes your worldview in, I think, the best way possible. If it's a safe person, which I'm thinking it is, this is very protective. Let me come back to the Places Oracle, and I am going to start to wrap up here, but I do want to flesh out this. Oh, wonderful. This is so lovely. Proper healing. Something here is going to heal within you because of this union or collaboration. Again, roommate situation, coming together with a partner that you want to live with. You know, that nerve-wracking period of a relationship where you're like, are we ready for this? Are we going to drive each other crazy? I don't know. And you come into it and you're like, oh, wow, I'm safe. This is actually healing a part of me that needed healing. Again, this union celebrated card really does feel more like a relationship based card. It can be work related, but again, I got those romance cards. So I think this is a very multi-layered thing. With the zoo card, I'm cracking up because I'm looking at this like you move in with your partner and you start to learn quirky things about them that you never knew. And you're like observing them from across the room as they like clip their toenails or something that's obviously less attractive, but still needs to be done, right? You can't, it's not like you're like, ew, I don't find you attractive anymore. It is what it is. You live with the person. Now you see all of those kinds of strange hygiene things that they do that you never had to like witness them doing. So that's what I was seeing in behaviors observed. So I'm getting this like multi-layered message, right? Maybe it's work, maybe it's roommates, maybe it's a partner. Yeah. So growth and cultivation. That's really going to help strengthen a partnership, hopefully. if it doesn't rip it apart, you know, maybe you drive each other crazy, but maybe you do drive each other crazy and then you laugh about it. And that's kind of beautiful too. I'm going to wrap up. Ooh. Aw. Waiting zone, patience, let the sun rest, tension, and survival. I think your nervous system was in a fight or flight, and this relationship, companionship, connection, coworker, situation, partnership is going to heal something very deep within you. Something that said, I wasn't safe before in any of the other situations I was in. And that very well might be true. But now in this situation, you are. So don't get freaked out. Take it slow. And I did get a patience card that popped out. Be patient with yourself. Take your time as you lean into this, but also observe your own behaviors of like, how am I acting? Am I getting cranky with them because they're chewing too loudly? Is that their fault? They're not actually chewing any louder than usual. I'm just cranky. So there's that self-reflection. You know, there's the healing that we do in private and then the healing we do in relationship or in partnership or in collaboration with others. And whatever that is, it's healing for this collective. So I hope this message had value for you. I will try to keep up with these readings as best I can in the next few days. But I have news. I am actually doing my relocation, my move from one point in Washington to another point in Washington. And I'm very, very excited. So I will try to keep up with these videos as best I can in the next week. But if I'm a little bit spaced out with my releases, you know and understand why. But I will be back and ready steady by the middle of next week. So until next time, have a beautiful day and mwah!